G'day and welcome to a new video. Today's video is going to be all about lawn striping. Going to give you some ideas, some tips, some tricks on how you can burn in some cool patterns into your lawn. And don't worry, it's not just for cylinder mower owners, this video. Also going to be giving you some tips and some ideas if you have got your standard rotary mower as well. Just in case you're seeing one of my videos for the first time, something I talk about a bit is how getting nice stripes and patterns on the lawn is something that I get a lot of enjoyment out of when it comes to lawn care. This here is the mower that I use on my backyard. It is a 26-inch wide Mowmaster. It's a Mowmaster HC26. It's an absolute beast of a machine, as you can already sort of see. It weighs 209 kilos, and the way that it creates those striping patterns is through this solid front roller, and also, oh, yep, 209 kilos. This split rear roller on the back. And so without this video becoming a full tutorial about what a cylinder mower is, this is my one, and those rollers is what pushes the grass over and creates those striping patterns. So you can see where I'm standing right now. I've just mowed this little patch here, and this is a really difficult small patch for this large mower. But where you are looking from, the stripes or where the mower is right now is dark. But now you can see flipped around to that side, the stripe from your perspective there is light. So when you can see a stripe that is light, that is the grass pushed away from you. When you can see a dark stripe, that is the grass pushed away from you. Because actually when we had some friends here and the cricket was on Saturday, I said to some of them, I was like, you notice how at one end the bowl was running in on a light stripe, and then another mate took over, he's like, yeah, and the other end's a dark stripe. So clearly he's been watching some of my videos, so that's nice. And something that really helps me on my backyard to create stripes is the fact that that mower is so heavy. It does such a good job of pushing the grass and rolling it over to create those patterns. My mass bought cylinder mower that I use on my front lawn, which you might have seen if you've watched a bit of my content before, that weighs 70 kilos, so it's still heavy. And luckily, cylinder mowers are self-propelled, but that will take longer to create striping patterns. This here is a DIY roller that I made for my rotary mower, geez, 2-3 years ago, something like that. And so what I've done here is created this metal bar, use these angle brackets. This is not a perfect prototype because every single mower is going to be different. And if there's enough interest, I can probably make a video about making one of these. I do have one tucked away somewhere a long time ago on Instagram. Maybe I'll try and find a link for it and put it in the description to that reel of the Instagram video I made. But essentially I go down, put a bolt through there and attach that on every single time I used it. This is filled with cement or even mortar. I think it might just be mortar in there because that's what I had a bag of when I was making it. But this same sort of concept as before, this is going to roll over the grass and push those blades in those directions to create those patterns. Now, if I was to mow with this, in general, I think if you're going to use a DIY striper, one key thing that you need to do is cut your lawn a bit taller. So instead of maintaining, with the cylinder mower at, 15, 20 mil, whatever it may be, you probably want to allow there to be a lot more leaf standing up for you to actually push over. So even if your lawn is nice and level, cut at 40 mil, 50 mil, something like that. Give yourself more grass blade to push over and create that pattern. And there's plenty of videos on YouTube about how to make those as well. So that is definitely something, if you have a rotary mower and you're not up for the investment of a cylinder mower, that you can look into. Now I must say, I really am looking forward to editing and putting out this video, because striping and how I do some of the patterns that I've done in the past, and I've gotten pretty creative, and I'm looking forward to making some more ones as this journey on this lawn continues on to make some cool, nice patterns. So yeah, this will be good fun. But in terms of just a quick update from my last video, because my last video was actually about making a bit of a fancy stripe pattern. And I was, inside these triples that are here, putting some curves in there. And look, at the end of the day, it just didn't work out. It just did not look as good as I hoped. I think one of my big problems was that on some of my curves, I was trying to put a light curve on an already light stripe and vice versa. So half the lawn had the effect that I was after and the other half didn't. So I learnt from that, and I want to have another go at something kind of similar, but probably after this next pattern that I'm going to work with for a couple of weeks. So yeah, still constantly learning and assessing different things that do work, and it's a lot of fun too. Last week probably took me 45, 50 minutes, but you know, it was great being out, listening to a podcast, mowing the lawn. So anyway, something else I talked about last week's video was the fact that I had applied an iron product that I'd had in my shed. Unfortunately, it really stained the lawn in the end. So I applied it Sunday. I recorded that video on Tuesday, and at the time it had greened up quite well. Wednesday, I kind of looked out at the lawn and was like, it's looking a little dodgy out there. Wednesday afternoon, a bit more, was like, geez, it's looking a bit sick. Thursday, I was like, holy shit, what is going on out there? And there was just a lot of staining, sort of burning, but just overall, I don't know if I got a few videos, I'll hopefully put one on the screen now, where you could just see, it just looked dodgy out here. So I spoke to Ben about it from Lawn Tips. I spoke to him. Look, potentially, because I had people reply on Instagram saying maybe it was because I applied straight after a mow. Ben had sort of said he'd applied that same product after mowing plenty of times. There's lots of different sources of iron, so potentially that exact one that was in that product just doesn't go well with kikuyu straight after a mow. Whatever it is, I don't have that product anymore because it's all finished. It didn't work for me. It was an issue. Thankfully, we're at a time of year where the lawn's grown back through and pushed that staining and grossness out quite quick. It's growing beautifully. The color now as a baseline is fantastic, and I'm gonna be able to get some really nice patterns to absolutely pop on here. Okay, so what I've just done there is come up to my starting point here. I've mowed my first stripe. So what I'm going to be doing today for a pattern is 2 and then 4. So double, they're probably called double quads, but I think I've actually decided that I'm going to call them double fourples because it's probably going to make people on the internet a bit angrier. So double fourples, so just normal stripes straight up and down next to each other is just singles. If the stripes are 2 stripes wide, doubles. If they are like the pattern I did last week, they would be triples. And then, you know, you don't see it much, but I'm gonna call them fourples, the one after that. I've mowed a few different cool patterns. Triple double checkers was really, really cool at the start of September, start of October. Out here, I did some single double diamonds that were fantastic there at one point. So anyway, these are gonna be double fourples. And so setting up patterns like this takes the longest the first time around. So I'm gonna be doing them fourple double diamonds. So the first time is just gonna be coming parallel off the back fence here. I'm going to be doing 2 wide going this way, and then coming back the other way will be 4 stripes wide. So what I've just done there is the first stripe and then a full lap around, and then I will do this next second stripe here. Then I can start coming back down this one. And so when I do that, you'll see when I'm about to start doing it here, when I do that first stripe, I have to come back down these 2, then I'll do the second one, come back down these stripes, do the third one, come back down these stripes, come down the 4th one. Am I even still on the camera? And then I will have finished a 2 and a 4. And once I've got those 4 stripes in the middle here, I can start on the doubles going back that way. So hopefully that last minute or 2 has made just at least a tiny bit of sense. It'll probably make a lot more sense once you start watching me do it. And like I said, first time around with these sorts of patterns takes the longest, but get a good podcast, get the steps up, enjoy the sunshine. It's good fun and it's gonna look fantastic. All right, so for a lawn striping tutorial sort of video, I haven't started out that great. The mower's just a little bit floaty for whatever reason. It's just been thinned out recently, but anyway, playing with that a little bit. But as you can see there, the most important stripe, I think, to go back over when you've got certain stripes that you have to come back across is the one that joins the two stripes. So that is not too bad. This run here on the diagonal straight across is 20 or about 18 meters, and I think that is 22, 3, something like that. So yeah, it gets, you know, long runs, harder to control, but hopefully this is going all right so far. Now that is actually coming up quite nicely against the triples that are burnt in there, because I would have mowed up and down those triples probably 7 times. So they'll take a little bit to fade out of the lawn even when I get this new pattern going, and it's amazing how sometimes a pattern will stick in the lawn for a couple of weeks even after you've done it. But yeah, look, it was a bit frustrating that mow because it was floating around, like I said there at one stage, the mower, it was kind of hard to hold nice and straight. It's probably something that just comes with such a big machine as well, and I am really looking forward to getting another top dress done later in the season, and that's something as well with lawn stripes as a whole. The truer and flatter your surface is, again, whether it's rotary or cylinder, but especially cylinder, just means you get cleaner cut, it's easy to control the mower, your lines are straighter, all those sorts of things. So there's a bit of a battle on some of those stripes, and it'll probably come through on the footage where it's a bit rough at times. I did start then to mow straight up and down, so I've gone parallel to the back fence. Now I'm going to go parallel to that side fence for this pattern. I'm not going to do it right now, I'm going to do it tomorrow morning, so I'll throw over to that to have a look at those stripes. Right, so I started to go up and down, but it was getting a bit hard to sort of see where the stripes were. So I've just decided to burn them in on this diagonal here. And then probably in a couple of days, I'll come out and I'll go straight up and down and I'll start burning in that pattern. The triples that go that way are gonna hang on for a little bit here, which is a bit annoying, but that's okay. Because yeah, 4-5 mows on this. It'll look really good on Friday, I think, as well. This already looks a lot better after just 2 mows going this direction. So yeah, it'll look really good. That's one thing with stripes, is it just takes a little bit of time sometimes to burn them in and get them to look their absolute best. Not bad though here, not bad. And there you go, I'm just gonna back myself in advance and say that is looking really, really nice. And yeah, it is looking really, really good. Right out here at the moment, grass is looking nice and healthy. That is one of your biggest keys for stripes. The healthier the grass, the more healthy and thriving it is, the better that your stripes are going to pop out of the ground. Probably one final tip that I will give as well is that the least amount of overlap you can get on a stripe, the best result you'll get. Something that I see as a common mistake is people, so you can see hopefully there a line of where those stripes are separated. If you were coming across, you want to just be going just overlapping onto the next one. If you come across too far onto it, then it just makes the definition of the stripes really, really blurred. So when the lines look the absolute crispest, can't talk, but when those lines are really defined between each other, you're not overlapping too much, that is when you also are gonna get a super crisp result. But yeah, look, I'll probably have a play around with this pattern. Like I said, I'll mow it in again tomorrow going the other direction. I'll then mow both patterns at the same time, probably on Friday, so a couple of days after that, and then just keep burning it in from there. Probably not going to be mowing this weekend. I'm running a half marathon on Sunday, so wish me luck for that one. But yeah, look, I hope this video was helpful. Feel free to ask some questions in the comments of this video. If you did enjoy this video, please hit subscribe. That would be really helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.